And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Get Ranked Movie Podcast, where every week we take a look at a topic of pop culture, be it whatever. Pop culture. Hey, it's a wide range of categories. Um, and we make a ranking of it, be it a top 10 list, top 11, top 6. We play by our own rules.
Whatever works.
Whatever works. We are your hosts on audio and on video. I'm Cody.
And I'm Nick.
And
regardless of what Zoom says I am.
Yes.
I know Cody edits it, but
yeah, people can't actually see it. So, I mean, it just says Lou Costello on the.
Perfect. And I'm just going to start switching my name to just the most heinous stuff.
There we go.
No one will ever know.
No one will ever know. But we're taking a look at our favorite. This is a weird list to define a name for. I mean, family-friendly Halloween movies, October movies, fall movies, spooky season movies, whatever you want.
I just was kind of looking at it as
today we rank Freeform's 31 Days of Halloween.
Basically, yeah. It was top 10 family-friendly Halloween or horror movies. Because we're doing our Halloween horror month, we figured that'd be a fun list to do is horror that's family friendly or movies that are not traumatizing for kids.
Right. And I mean, yeah, most of mine are, I'd say about half my list regularly plays on the 31 Nights of Halloween or 13 Days of Halloween or whatever they call it, however many days they have every year. I don't know if they made it longer.
It used to be 13, but
13
they started doing 30. They started doing the whole month years ago.
Yeah, because everybody really October 1st, you get into the kick of the season, and it's
most of this picture today. It's like this regal looking guy standing looking down at people in disgust, and it says when we who watch Halloween or horror movies all year round looking down on the people who just started for October.
Yeah, I saw
so
that.
True.
And I was going to send it to you, and I realized you were the one that shared it.
Yeah, so true.
True.
It's exactly how it is. We watch them all year round. Halloween doesn't, for us Halloween people and horror fans, it doesn't start October 1st. I was celebrating it back in September.
Say November 2nd, he's already got Halloween decorations for next year. But
sometimes that's when they put that stuff on sale.
That's when it goes on clearance. That's when you're going to get the 14-foot tall skeleton for your yard.
I was very disappointed in Home Depot, at least our Home Depot this year. Every year, Home Depot has become the place I go to get stuff because they always have really good inflatables and good just props and stuff. I went this weekend, nothing. They have all Christmas stuff.
Already.
So I don't know if they just didn't order any Halloween stuff this year with not knowing if they were going to be open when they were ordering the Halloween stuff.
Not
could have been
back
in the
summer.
Have
trick-or-treating. I mean, not knowing if trick-or-treating was even going to really happen en masse.
We're done. We're over. And
I will say I did see there were a couple houses that I drove by this week that had little little tubes for Halloween to shoot down the arm rails of houses.
I don't want people. I mean, that's good. That's smart. That's smart.
It's
COVID safe.
Halloween.
My house, I'm still going to be out passing out because Cody knows I do a huge yard display. I'm always out there. Yeah, it's music blaring and stuff. I'm still going to do all that, but the bowl is going to be on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to hand it to the people.
No.
Here's the bowl. Take one.
Take them down. Pass them around.
I will have beer, but it's pumpkin flavored.
Yum.
So the kids will have to choose. Do they want pumpkin flavored or they want a Reese's?
Is it a Reese's pumpkin?
Yeah, but those are really disappointing when you open them and the face isn't on it.
Right. I will say, the pumpkins and the Christmas trees, Reese's peanut butter cups. The chocolate to peanut butter ratio is better.
I'm not a big Reese's peanut butter cup person. I'm not a big peanut butter person. I never have been.
Right.
If I'm going to eat a Reese's, I actually like the minis that they've come out with now because I think those are really damn good.
The individually wrapped minis or the baking, the ones that you put in cookies minis? The really tiny ones.
The bags I buy, they're not that small. They're minis, but they're not individually wrapped. You just get them in a bag.
Oh. Oh yeah,
and they're in theirs.
yeah, between the individually wrapped minis and between the teeny tiny baking ones.
And exactly. And my brother, he's a huge Reese's peanut butter cup person, and he actually says there's a difference. Like you kind of just alluded to it, but like there's a difference in taste and flavor between the pumpkins and the regular ones. Like he thinks it's creamier for some reason. I don't notice enough, but I don't eat them enough.
It's the ratio of peanut butter to chocolate, and then you get the big half-pound ones that are like 5 inches across.
I've never had a big half-pound one.
Yeah, they're okay.
Too much peanut butter.
Too much peanut butter, actually. Yeah, the chocolate layer is really thin, and it's just a big glob of peanut butter in the middle.
It's just a pound of peanut butter.
Pretty much. I mean, but of course their peanut butter is infused with sugar as well. It's like 50-50 sugar to peanut butter.
It's not just straight peanut butter. It's more of like I've always looked at Reese's. It's like a peanut butter paste.
Yeah.
Almost. You know, it's
and then you get Butterfinger, that's the peanut butter toffee. Which,
I've never been a big peanut butter or a big Butterfinger person. Bart Simpson can have all of mine.
When I started having to get fillings, that's when I stopped liking Butterfinger as much.
Oh, absolutely. Anything toffee or anything like that.
Anything sticky that gets stuck in your teeth, and
But my house is always the fun one to go to, and Cody knows this because I do full size.
Yep, Mr. Moneybags over here.
Spare no expense. And it breaks me for like a week.
Oh yeah.
For like 2 whole weeks. I'm broke because I spent all my money for like a week's worth of paycheck on candy because I don't live in some little outside of town, in the country neighborhood. No, I'm in the middle of a neighborhood, like a suburban neighborhood.
Everybody knows.
That everybody knows come to my house. Not just, I would hope it's not just because of the full size, but because of the spectacle fun of Halloween, of coming to my house and the music and the fun of what prop am I going to have out there this year to scare and make your kids cry and have the mom yell at me on Facebook. But I like doing the full sizes because when I was growing up, there was that house out in the country. I don't know if you ever went there with us, but they always gave out full size candy bars and a can of pop. Now, of course, they could do it because they probably had all of like 6 people, 6 trick or treaters.
They buy 1 case of Pepsi and
1 case of Pepsi and 1 box of candy bars from Sam's Club, and they're good to go.
Exactly.
But with me, when I started doing this, it's probably been probably 10 years now since I've been doing this.
At least, yeah.
And my thought then was, I want to give out full size. I want my house to be the house that, not just because of the full size, but I want my house to be the house in our town that people who don't live in town or who live on the far other side of town say, we can trick or treat in our neighborhood, but we have to take a trip to the house over there.
Yeah.
And I've had people say that they make a point to come to my house, that don't even, like, they live in the subdivision across town and they could just go there.
Right.
But drive to my house, and I love that.
Here in the city where I am, like, my house doesn't have a sidewalk in front of it. The first year that I moved in,
mine doesn't either.
The year before I moved in, I lived in the back of a little neighborhood, and there were probably 150 houses in the neighborhood, and pretty much all the kids would go to all the houses. So I'd go through 2, 3, 4 bags of candy, normal size fun size candy, and that. I moved here. I'm in a bigger neighborhood. I'm in a bigger city. I bought 3 bags of candy. I got 2 trick-or-treaters.
And Cody gorged on candy.
And diabetes.
I was going to say a month, but Cody gorged on that candy for a whole 3 hours after Halloween.
And I ain't gay, trick-or-treater.
Well, last year I had a hell of a lot of candy left over because it was raining and snowing and blowing wind the whole time. We had like maybe 15 trick-or-treaters. And so, think about that. A person who is dieting and has been that entire year and this year has a whole bowl full of candy bars. And Halloween was
on to your niece when she comes over and then send her back to your brother.
I did. I gave it out to all the neighbor kids. They came over and I said, hey, you get all of this. Happy Halloween. You get candy and diabetes.
Mm-hmm. It's worth it.
All right, show notes for everybody. I am using a new camera, so you're going to see me looking this direction a lot as opposed to looking straight into the cameras because my camera's over there and Cody's over here. And I like eye contact when I'm talking to Cody.
Right. It's scary. The way your eyes just
the way they
clicked.
I'll try my best to look in the camera when I'm making a point, but when I'm talking with Cody, I'll be looking over here.
Yeah.
So, but it's for a better, hopefully better quality and hopefully a better show. So,
and for the audio listeners, still check the description of the episode to get the link to our YouTube channel so you can see our beautiful faces. And Michael.
And Michael Myers. Twice.
And the
I was going to wear a mask,
sequence
but it wouldn't work with my headphones.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So,
that's one of those
speaking
ones
of
where the
masks,
mouth moves.
GetRankedMoviePodcast.com. Check out our new merch.
That's right.
As always, buy a mug.
That's right. See, yours is nice. On your end, yours doesn't invert. Like
Right.
on my end, this does not say serial killer.
Well, yeah, on my end, it's
says-
backwards.
Oh,
It's backwards for yourself, so you can, move.
so it's
and,
correct on your end.
Yeah, it's correct on my
Okay.
end.
Okay.
And
good. I
it'll
was
be
worried
correct for the
everyone's like, what does
viewers.
it say?
Yeah, because
Well,
my shirt's
good.
backwards too to me, but it'll be right side around.
Clock Revo.
Clock Revo, yes. With the
Cooler Vo.
cool Rev. Oh, Cool Revo, yes.
Cool Revo.
Cool Revo. All right, news.
And I've got my little gopher from Caddyshack's watching.
I'm all right. Does he actually sing?
He moves and sings, but I don't have batteries in him.
Oh,
He still works. If I have batteries in him, he still works.
okay.
Thing's like 20 years old, but he still works if I have
That's
batteries
good.
in him.
That's cool.
Well, I
So
noticed
one
I
of
had a box over there. And I was like, what do I want to put on there today? We'll put the gopher from
Put the gopher.
Caddyshack on there today.
Say it's
Yeah.
like those old Furbies that never die. You just put the batteries back in there. Love me. No, not at all.
Have you been? Oh, God. Toss
I
it across
missed
the room.
you.
I was just starting to love. In terms of news, really the only newsworthy thing I can think of, Cody had brought up that Regal Cinemas is closing for this foreseeable future because
Yep.
of financial problems, which not surprising.
Not
It
surprising.
sucks, but you know what? If it keeps the world safe, I've been saying for a long time, I've gotten a few arguments with people about this and who are like, oh, I think it's terrible that businesses are having to close because of this. I would let 1,000 businesses die before I let one person die because of stupidity with the
Yeah.
virus. Like,
I
it
think-
sucks.
yeah.
I get it. I feel really bad for businesses right now. Your small businesses, your big businesses, Regal Cinemas, whatever. But a life trumps a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And it is unfortunate, but I mean, it's to be expected. And they're not permanently closing, as
No,
far
it's
as
just for
all
the
of their
time
news
being.
releases have said. They're just shutting down operations everywhere for now. And it was their last day is October 8th, which is before this episode airs. Was the day before our theaters in Michigan were supposed to open, which
Supposed to open. We'll see if they do.
we'll see if they do. I mean, the drive-ins have been running every weekend, and random, like the baseball stadium
Only
here,
on the
they-
weekend now. They were doing weekly, but they must
They were
cut
doing
down
weekdays.
when fall hits or
Yeah, when
something.
it gets colder. And even like the baseball stadium here has been showing movies on their jumbotron. You can come out, bring a picnic
Really?
blanket, and sit in the outfield.
Oh, that's cool.
With like 10 feet between each family, and like they showed Jurassic Park.
Not anymore.
They showed Field of Dreams. They showed
That
42.
makes
They
sense.
showed a
That
lot of
makes sense.
baseball themed movies, and then a lot of just classic movies. They showed Jurassic Park. I don't think they showed Jaws here. But other movie news: No Time to Die got pushed back. We talked about that last week. Dune got pushed back. Dune, I don't know why they had a December release date or how they already had a December release date set for this year. They're actually pushing back to October of next year now.
They set, studios, they set their dates like years in advance.
Years in
That Doom
advance.
date was probably set before the virus even hit
True.
the United States.
True.
The other big news I want to talk about real quick, and I mean real quick because it's stupid, but Jamie Foxx's Electro is going to be in the new Spider-Man movie, which of all villains to bring from the other Spider-Man films into the new Marvel universe, Electro. Now, I still
think Electro might be just the start of multiple.
I'm hoping we'll
Willem
get more
Dafoe
announcements.
as Green.
Yeah,
Green
I'm
Goblin
hoping,
or
like you said, that this is the
Alfred
start
Molina as
of some
Doc Ock.
announcements. Yeah, that maybe over the next few months or however long, we'll get more announcements. You'll get one, Alfred Molina returning as Doc Ock. Like that, everyone's been pretty much figuring that this movie was going to deal with basically
Spider-Verse,
be
the
Marvel's
multiverse.
live action Spider-Verse. Yeah, especially because Doctor Strange comes out before it, and that is going to introduce the multiverse.
Multiverse of Madness, right?
And
Now-
Sam Raimi's directing that, and everyone's assuming that Tobey Maguire might pop up in that, which would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And of course, all speculation at this point. Marvel does good at keeping secrets for the most part. Disney
Yeah.
does good at keeping secrets.
We'll see what happens. If it truly is, they're going to be more than just him. Don't lead with him. Don't lead with Jamie Foxx's Electro. I mean, he wasn't the worst thing in that movie, but he was bad.
He was.
And I love Jamie Foxx. He's an Oscar-winning actor. He's always good and stuff, but that Electro was garbage.
He did what he could with it.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not
all
his
right.
fault. It's Andrew Garfield's fault. So
everything is Andrew Garfield's fault.
Yes. So getting to the topic of conversation for this week, ladies and gentlemen, we have our favorite family-friendly fall fun Fear Factor movies. Fear Fact. Spooky.
Family-friendly fall flicks.
Family-friendly fall flicks. There we go. Alliteration at its best. Starting with my number 10. So the way this show works is...
I was just thinking, you should have turned the shape a little more so you don't see the bottom and he's just completely the side. Or is he attached? Oh, I thought he was on the wall. I didn't know he was attached to something.
So he's attached to a mic stand.
That'll work.
Mike is attached to a mic stand.
That'll work. I thought he was on the wall. I couldn't tell. No depth perception.
I tried to mount it as far away so he could just be like peeking in the corner. Actually, can I do him just...
He's down there. There you go. That'll work.
Hello. You want to buy some Mike Myers munchies? Michael Myers munchies?
You want some pancakes?
I was saying, you want some Loch Ness munchies? So, the way this show works is every week, just about, Nick and I take a topic of pop culture and give you our top 10 ranking of it. We think of the topic, go our separate ways, don't talk to each other about it, come up with our lists on our own. No collusion, and
we're about to be impeached for it, believe it or not.
This is the first time I'm hearing Nick's list, and this is the first time Nick is hearing my list. Unless you listened to last year's Halloween episode, it's going to be... No. I do have a lot of repeats from last year, but that was just movies on Halloween.
From last year for...
Movies set on Halloween.
Yeah, because we did movies set on, and I have quite a few that are not set on Halloween.
Me too. I have a fan.
I only have... I think I've got only two or three on my entire list that are set on Halloween.
Yeah, I only have two on my list that are set on Halloween.
There won't be much. There is overlap in the sense of, like, there's a couple we have talked before, but for the most part, these are all movies I don't think we've talked about.
Yeah. So, I begin this week. So, my number 10, family-friendly movie to watch around Halloween is Jumanji. The original Robin Williams board game movie Jumanji. Because I have not seen either of the new ones yet.
This was your perfect opportunity. You've seen this one.
I have. Well, and I didn't rewatch this one. This one was one of the ones on my list. This is one of the ones that I wrote down initially.
All right.
I do have a lot of new watches on my list. I will tell you that. And
cool.
You might be excited to hear of some of them. So, no, Jumanji.
Always excited.
It's a really, dramatic, scary movie because it's the elements of a board game just coming to life to murder everything in its path. And I will say there were some... What?
The way you said it sounded like you said in its bath. I'm like, what movie is this?
When a Stranger Calls? Was that... No. What's the one with the girl in the bathtub on the front cover? I don't remember.
What Lies Beneath?
What Lies Beneath. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. A lot of horror movies take place in bathtubs.
What Lies Beneath is an awesome movie.
Probably not family friendly?
No.
No. Not at all.
No. Neither is Slither. But Slither is fun, though.
Yeah.
I just rewatched Slither a few weeks ago.
I haven't watched either one.
First time in a while, and it's really good. Slither's James Gunn. Yeah.
Okay. So is there comedy in it?
Might have been the first movie he actually directed. He had written a lot before that, but it was the first one he directed. Yeah, no, it's a comedy horror. It's a body horror comedy.
Okay.
Michael Rooker, Nathan Fillion. It's a fun movie.
Nathan Fillion?
Disgusting. Yeah, no, it's disgusting.
Huh.
But it's a fun movie.
I may have to look at it.
No, you're gonna be like this the whole time because it's gross.
Remember, I like
he fully
The Thing.
Goes. Yeah, that's true.
And Tusk.
That's true. God.
What was I
Anyway,
talking about?
Jumanji.
Jumanji. Yeah. So it's 2020, the board game. Somebody just needs to finish the damn game so we can wrap up this, all this nonsense. I always try to think of how I would react playing Jumanji and that stuff happening. Now, I know my mind would be saying, if you finish the game, it'll all be over with. But then the big ass bugs fly in.
Correct. No, you're going to be interrupted.
Yeah.
Stampede.
The Stampede, the Hunter.
Monkey.
I think the Hunter is one of my favorite characters in that movie, just because
I just like it's the dad.
And it's the because I always like the Most Dangerous Game, and that's basically what that character is. He's hunting the people. It's a fun movie and it's good for kids. I mean, yes, it's terrifying in points. When the little kid gets turned into the monkey, and then they make Sonic the Hedgehog look like that monkey. Do you remember when?
Right, he does look like the original Sonic design.
But no, I mean it's a fun movie. I really do.
Just think about this: Sonic the Hedgehog came out this year.
Wow,
came out in February.
It did.
Isn't that crazy? How long this year has felt, and it's still on track to win Best Picture.
That and Tenet. Don't
get me started.
No. So Chris Nolan and James Cameron, Avatar 5 started production. Stranger Things restarted production.
Avatar 5? Have they done 2, 3, and 4 yet? I saw a lot of stuff's restarting, which is cool.
It was
Just
really
as long
nice
as you do it safe, everything's restarting. But unfortunately, there's still casualties. My show, the show Glow on Netflix about the wrestling, the female wrestlers, got canceled today after they had already started, and then they canceled it because of coronavirus.
And I know
it was only said it was going to be the final season anyway, which sucks.
Was it Robert Pattinson that got Rona when?
Yeah, they went back. They went back to filming for like a week and then had to shut down because he had coronavirus.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but.
All the shows are back though, starting this week. Like Blackish came back last night.
I watched The Masked Singer, which it's funny because it's the audience is actually digitally added in post.
Oh, really?
They actually shoot the whole episode on a stage with no audience, and then they just take video from the previous season's audiences and splice it in. The audience is all fake in Masked Singer.
Are you caught up?
I am not caught up. I am.
Okay.
I think
I don't watch it, but I know something that happened, and I was gonna talk about it, but never mind.
Oh no. Anyway, yeah, I'm not caught up.
Anyway,
for our listeners and viewers' sake, we should not spoil The Masked Singer.
You froze. I didn't hear that. What you said.
I say we don't want to spoil The Masked Singer for our viewers.
I do though, because that show's garbage.
I like guessing.
I know. My favorite thing about that, I don't watch it, but I've seen commercials for it, and this is what irritates me even more about it, is on that show when it's time for the judges to try to guess who they think it is, and they'll be like, I think it's Tom Cruise. Really? Really, Jenny McCarthy? You think Tom Cruise is doing this show? Really? You think he is? Or the next person. It might be Bradley Cooper. Yeah.
They've had some
none of these people.
Big stars. They've had some random, really big stars.
Who do you consider a really big random star?
Really big. Sarah Palin was on last year. I mean, yeah.
Sarah Palin has not been relevant in 12 years. And even then, she was a spectacle because she was dumb.
Who was the one that did the national anthem a couple of years ago? Not Diana Ross.
Diana Ross was on there, wasn't she? One of them. Someone was on there like that. Who? Gladys Knight. Granted, she's a big name.
Yeah.
But she hasn't been like big in decades. But she's famous because she is Gladys Knight. You know what I mean? That one.
One of the more interesting ones that I did remember seeing was Donny Osmond was on it, and he was still doing his live show every day in Vegas. So he would fly to New York to film, then fly back to Vegas to do his show, and then fly back to New York to film in secret.
Man needs that paycheck. Daddy needs some money. Daddy needs some money. I will say, and I'm not going to spoil who it is, but there is someone on there, Cody, that is someone who is someone big.
Okay.
And it's the only time that's happened that I've seen. I saw the thing, an article about the other day, and I was like, really? That person must have just been around, because why would they do this?
Right.
But that's always been my biggest problem with that show, is when they'll be like, I think it's Will Smith. No, you don't.
So, and that's, I mean, I'll sit there and watch their guesses, but honestly, I DVR it. I'll like listen to the song and then skip through most of the fluff. I don't watch the
packages,
behind
and
the
stuff.
scenes, the packages. I barely listen to them actually like guess every time. I'll just watch the performance. Who I
Try
think
to
it
guess
is,
yourself.
Try to guess myself just by the voice.
Yeah.
The show afterward that Ken Jeong hosts, I Can See Your Voice, does seem kind of stupid though.
Yeah.
Nick,
Jumanji.
what's your number 10?
My number 10 is probably one of the few on my list that is right on that borderline.
Okay.
Of being just too scary for really young kids, but not scary for like people our age, but is right on that line. And I know you love this movie, so I'm expecting possibly a punt. My number 10 is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I did not put it on my list.
Okay. Now, this was the only one on my list that I went, this is real close to that line. But I remember saying when we reviewed it, yeah, and it's still a family movie. I think you could get, if you had a bunch of like younger kids, maybe 12, 13, 14 era, you got the family together, let's watch Scary Stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd have a blast. But it was the only one that I was like, I'm going to put it at my 10 for that reason, because it's not necessarily family friendly, but it's definitely a family get together. Let's watch an actual scary movie that's not gory. There's no swearing, but it's intense as hell.
Yeah.
And that was what we said when we reviewed the movie. I said, I love this movie the Scarecrow, all that shit. But I remember when we reviewed the movie last year, I remember saying like, this is a good movie because I feel like it's going to get young kids into horror because it's scary and it's not offensive. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not gory. Like I said, a family could get together and you could say like, hey, my 13, 14-year-old kids, let's sit and watch Scary Stories Tell in the Dark. You don't have to worry about like, if you said to them, hey, let's watch Friday the 13th, and you're going to see boobs and blood and Savini gore. You know what I mean? Yeah, but in this, you're going to get the scares without the real heavy stuff. I mean, granted, there's heavy stuff in this movie. Some of these kids don't make it, which I liked in that movie. I liked there were real stakes in this movie. That at the end of the movie, when they basically solve it all, the kids don't appear and go, hey, we're okay again. You know what I mean? No, the movie ends with them being like, we have to go see if we can find a way to get them back.
That kid's a scarecrow now.
Exactly. He's a scarecrow. I mean, out of all of them, he really deserved it. But,
yeah,
the guy that got swallowed up by the pale lady, he didn't deserve it.
No, yeah.
He's just getting the world's greatest bear hug.
So, I mean,
but no, so that's why I put it at my 10, because I was like, it's right on that cusp of being really too intense for maybe a family viewing, but I feel like it could be a family viewing. Like, I definitely think, like, if I was 13, 14, this would be a movie that would just terrify the hell out of me, but would be a good, like, we're watching this every Halloween as a family. Let's watch Scary Stories.
My theater experience seeing that movie, the way that our theater is set up, there was a very long tunnel to the theater that this was showing in. And I stayed till the end of the credits, and there's the emergency sign. The exit signs were lit up in red. So I'm walking down this hallway with red lights, and it's like, crap.
And you turned around, and there's just a fat usher walking towards you, and you have a heart attack.
Come on, Elizabeth.
God damn it. Same with the one I went to. It was the one we used to go to all the time, and it has the long, you go around and down, so it has a long like side hall to it. It was the same thing. But yeah, so that's my number 10, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Love it.
Moving down to my number 9. I can unabashedly say, usually when we do a list, so like Carpenter, I like a lot of the ones that were on my list last week. I love quite a few of them, but like number like 10 and 9 were good, but they're okay movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I can unabashedly say this week, every movie on my list I love.
Yeah,
me too. Do you know what I mean?
Me too.
I love every movie on this list.
No filler movies.
No, and my number 9 was one I was really excited for. I grew up with this property. I still love this property. I put this show on all the time. around around Halloween just because it's like it's perfect. And I love it. It's what got me into horror. And so when they announced we're going to do a movie with Jerk Blurk, I lost my mind. My number 9 is Goosebumps. From 2000, I want to say 2015 was when they did the movie with Jack Black.
I never read the movie. Wait, no, I never read the books. I mean, maybe one or two here and there. Like I think I read Night of the Living Dummy.
Yeah.
And
Welcome
maybe
to Dead
one
House or
other
something.
one. Was there a Mummy one? Or was that?
The Mummy? Yeah, there's a Mummy one.
There was a Mummy one. I can't remember if it was that
Yeah,
or like
and that
my gym teacher's a vampire or something. Like that series of books.
those are the Bailey School kids.
Yeah, there we go. And Benicula.
Those are great. You know, when I started working at the library a few years ago, when I was working there, I remember like one night it was around Halloween, and I was working clothes, and we were just really slow. So I was just going through my section, the kids section and young adult section, and looking through the books and stuff, and rediscovered a lot of those old books, like the Bailey School kids. I'm like, I have not thought about these since like elementary school. I remember these, and I remember them a lot. Like I remembered the cover, like I saw the spine and saw it said, you know, my gym teacher is a leprechaun or whatever it was or something. And I would be like, I know the cover is a leprechaun dunking a basketball. And I was right. You know, like it was just fun. And Benicula, yeah, all that stuff. And
are you sure you're not thinking of
like
the Disney Channel original movie Luck of the Irish?
No, although that one's fun too.
It is.
The captain from Psych is the bad guy in that movie. It's Timothy Omundson.
Really?
Yeah, if I remember correctly. Because I remember when I started watching Psych, I'm like, is that the bad guy from the Luck of the Irish? Just not with red hair? Oh, okay.
Right. We should do a DCOM list. Or not.
Yeah, eventually. We
Eventually
could. One. I've got quite a few. None on this list, but there could be one on this list.
There could be.
Maybe. I didn't think about it. But anyway, the Goosebumps movie, 2015 with Jerk Blurk. I love it. It was so much fun. I remember being in that theater and being like, okay, let's see if they came up with a fun idea for this. The story, the trailers sold me on the fun idea of, you know, R.L. Stine is a character in this movie. He's wrote these books, and somehow he has to keep them locked up because his books come to life. And Slappy the Dummy, you haven't seen it, right?
I have not seen it.
Okay, do yourself a favor and watch it before Halloween. And the sequel's fun. The sequel specifically is a Halloween movie. It's called like something Halloween.
Okay.
Like that one's specifically set on Halloween. The first one's not, if I remember correctly. But do yourself a favor and watch it before Halloween. The first one, at least. It's a lot of fun because basically Slappy gets free of his book. And he's the villain, which is really fun. I remember wondering, I remember thinking like, is Slappy going to be in it? Oh, Slappy's the villain. And he's voiced by Jack Black.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, because the joke is that like he is him because he wrote it.
Okay, yeah, he's in his characters.
Yeah, which was a cool idea. And basically he steals all the books and starts opening them and wreaking havoc on the town. So it's kind of like a greatest hits of the series, which is what made the movie a blast because you don't have just, we're not doing a Goosebumps movie where it's just Slappy. No, you're going to get a mummy. You're going to get the evil clown. You're going to get the ghost car. You're going to get the zombies. Like you're getting everything. And they literally, there's a shot in this movie where it shows all of them lined up. It's damn near all of like the original Goosebumps books, like the villains and all of them. And it's awesome. And Jack Black's funnier than hell in the movie. Like he's really good in the part. Can tell he was having a ball. And it's just fun. There's a lot of really fun, loving homages to the books and the original TV series, which is what I also fell in love with too, was that show. And it's just good. It's just a really fun, family friendly horror film that like my niece watched it and loved it.
It's like
because
PG?
It does have some. Yeah. And it's got some spooky shit, like the lawn gnomes are creepy when they're attacking, but it's goofy because they're trying to tie Jack Black down like they tied him down in Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's really good. And it's got a kick-ass Danny Elfman score too, which is cool.
Always. Of course.
I remember when I read that he was doing the score for the movie, I'm like, oh, awesome. And it's so good. It's a good score. The end credits theme is really fun. So, no, Cody, seriously do yourself a favor and you need something to watch tonight when we're done recording. Throw Goosebumps on for an hour and a half. It's fun. I
actually need to finish a movie that I started earlier that didn't end up on my list because I didn't finish it.
Then don't finish it. It's not on your list. Don't worry about it.
But I liked what I've watched so far, and it's on your
How
list.
much do you have left?
I'm halfway through. Exactly.
Okay, well, finish that and then throw Goosebumps on.
And when you get to it on your list, I will point it out. Was there a Goosebumps TV show too?
That's what I said. The TV show in the 90s was, I loved the books. I read the books a lot. Like there were books where some of those were so much fun and so good. I read them like a day.
And they were only like 100 pages.
But give or take 120 sometime.
Yeah.
But the show is what really got me into horror and spooky stuff. And no, the Goosebumps show is still one that I'll throw on. You know, last I checked, it was on Netflix, the whole series, and or at least the bulk of it.
Some of it, enough
and
of it.
It still is fun. It brings back memories. Like the doll in the show was 10 times, the dummy was 10 times creepier in the show than he was in the movie. Because he's got red hair, his face is creepy looking, and he's got like a really creepy voice. Whereas the dummy in the movie is more traditional, black hair.
Right.
He's creepy, but it's Jack Black.
It's Jack Black.
But it's the show I love. The show is truly one I could throw on. I do usually in October if I'm nothing on. I'll go to Netflix and throw on Goosebumps because it still holds up and it's fun as hell.
Right.
But the movie I love. I think it's a really good family friendly Halloween. A movie to watch around Halloween. And the sequel's fun too. It's not as good as the first one. Jerk Blurt pops up for like 10 minutes, which is really unfortunate.
Oh.
He's not in the whole movie. But that one's a really good Halloween movie because that one is set on, I think it's called Haunted Halloween, if I remember correctly. That one actually is set on Halloween and uses the conventions of Halloween, which is still fun. It's still a fun movie. And it's got the kid from It that played Ben Hanscom, and he's really good.
Okay.
Jeremy Ray Taylor, I think his name is.
Okay.
But yeah, my number 9, Goosebumps. Cody, what's your number 9?
So my number 9 is punt territory, I'm thinking.
Probably.
This is one I had seen it before, but I rewatched it. That I haven't watched it in a long time, and I didn't remember. I remembered a couple things. So my number 9 is Ernest Scared Stupid.
Punt.
Okay.
Number 9.
Shut
it down. Shut it all down.
You're gonna be really mad. No.
What's number 8?
Number 8 is a first-time watch that I'd always heard good things, and I loved the actors, other stuff. So from the comedy stylings of Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Punt.
Meet Frankenstein.
Punt.
Okay.
All right, my number 8. My number 8 is one that I've loved for a long time. I remember watching this when I was younger. I had it on VHS. I still do. It's in my back room. It was just scary enough that was like creepy because the scary elements in it are handled 100% serious. But the kids in it made it so much fun that I loved it growing up. My number 8 is Monster Squad.
It's my number 7.
Sweet. Is this a new watch? It is, right?
So I saw this movie probably 15 or 20 years ago.
Probably because I told you to.
No, I specifically remember watching it with one of my cousins.
Okay.
And so as I was rewatching it, like the entire final scene where they're reading out of the book and they find out she's not a virgin and they find out and then they make the little girl read it. That was like I had always remembered for some reason that bit, and I never knew what it was from until last year when you were talking about this on some list, maybe on the Universal Monsters list. Earlier this
I probably
year,
brought it up for that, yeah.
when we were talking about the Universal
Wouldn't have been on my
Monsters.
list, but I would have talked about it, I'm sure.
That was when I realized that was the movie that I've been looking for 15 years. And then I just rewatched, and then I just finally rewatched it this week. So yeah, Monster Squad.
I love it.
Fun
like
movie.
I said, I remember watching it growing up, and I loved it then. And like I said, it's just scary enough to like I said, they treat the monsters 100% serious.
They do.
Never do the monsters get any like goofy moments. Never are they falling over each other like the monsters.
A little bit, but
Frankenstein is still treated serious though, in the sense that in the movie Frankenstein, he's not a bad monster. So They are treating him the way he was treated in those original Universal monsters. Is he befriends the kids? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Granted, he's looking at people the girl undressing across the street, but
everyone is.
Frankenstein was never an evil character, whereas the evil ones, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Mummy, they're all treated 100% serious, and they're evil as hell. I think the Dracula in this movie is probably my favorite version of Count Dracula, because I think he's the scariest version of Count Dracula. The one in this one
intense.
Is ruthless. I mean, he literally grabs Phoebe by the face, give me the amulet, and like just like that's a scary ass moment. Like evil bastard. And
Mhm.
the Wolfman is fun because the man of the Wolfman is played by Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, which just kills me every time I watch it.
I
As when
do.
he's in the phone booth, you know, I'm going to become a werewolf. And I'm going to throw a football over them mountains.
I did think his death was really like
It's good, but it's sad.
It's sad. The thank you at the end when he gets shot. It's like, you know, putting him out of
but
his
works. Yeah, but works with the Wolfman mythos that he's tortured, he's cursed. Like he doesn't want to be a werewolf.
Exactly.
You know, he doesn't like that he's killing people when he has no control over it.
Mhm.
And I always like that the mummy just gets taken out so easily.
And the creature from the Black Lagoon too.
Yeah,
like they're like
I
beating
like that,
on him,
though.
they're punching him, they're hitting him with sticks, and then Horace just shoots him.
Horse just shotguns him. But I like that. I like that. Yeah, these things are scary and evil, but like, just shoot them. You know,
like
the
really,
one you got to watch out for is
the werewolf and Dracula are the only ones you need to do something special to kill.
exactly, and I think that's what they're getting at is the creature from the Black Lagoon, or the Gill Man, as they call him, is, you know, he doesn't really have anything special to kill him. Just shoot him.
Mhm.
Like you said, the Wolfman, yeah, you can't blow him up.
So,
and I like the conceit in this one that they don't do, and I've never seen in a werewolf movie before that, which is it has to be a silver bullet. You blow him up, he's merging back together.
right.
Like I liked that idea that, you know, no, it doesn't matter how you kill him. He will not die unless it is. Like I'd like to see, like, what if they boiled him in like a vat of acid? Would he just goo back together?
Or just like incinerated him, put him in a
Exactly. Like what happens then, you know? But it's just fun. I think the kids are hilarious. I think Horace has always been really funny. They always call him Fat Kid, which is just mean, but he's hilarious. Fat Kid farted. But it's just a fun movie. I like, yeah, and I just love the idea of, you know, taking these classic Universal monsters and plopping them in our world now, or that time, the 80s, and these kids who love monsters realizing monsters are real and they have to try to stop them from ending the world. I've always thought it was a fun movie. And I think it is right at that cusp of oh yeah. I think Get Right is at that cusp, kind of like Scary Stories, where there's nothing as intense in this as Scary Stories, I don't think, other than Dracula is scary. And there are some creepier moments in the movie. I always got creeped out when the kid's in this bed and, you know, the mummy in my closet, and the dad opens the door and the mummy's in there, but he doesn't see it because he's not looking.
Mad. That made me super mad. Like, you didn't even try to help that kid.
Yeah. Like, that's a genuinely creepy moment when he opens the door and you see the mummy open his arms, and it's like, that would scare me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's like, my niece is 8. I'm not going to show her Monster Squad yet.
No.
That one I won't show her yet. That one and Scary Stories I won't. There's probably the two on my list that I won't show her yet, just because I do think the Wolfman's going to be creepy to her, the Gill Man, the Mummy, you know, and whatnot. I think it's a little too intense for her.
But the Wolfman does have nards.
He does have nards, and Dracula hates garlic toast.
I'm so glad I'm not a vampire. I love garlic.
It's so good, isn't it?
It is.
It's the best. I couldn't tell you last time I had it.
If I ever turn down garlic in anything, just put a stake through my heart right then, because that's the only reason I'm turning it down.
Will do. You heard it here, folks. When I'm arrested for murdering Cody, you all have to defend me, because he just admitted that he wants me to stake him. Okay, Monster Squad, my number 8.
All right. What's the number 7?
We do your 8?
You punted my 8.
That's right. Oh, fun trivia fact for you. I think, if I remember correctly, Monster Squad was written by Shane Black, who wrote Predator. He did Iron Man 3, Predators. I believe it was Shane Black. Vamp while I look, because that's going to bother me.
So, I mean, I don't have anything to vamp about, because it's your time to shine. It's your time
just
to
vamp.
Vamp.
Yep, it was Shane. It was Shane Black, which is what I thought. He directed it. And then the guy directed the movie, directed a bunch of like classic movies like that too. But yeah, I thought it was Shane Black that he wrote. It was one of the first things he did. All right, my number 7 is a movie that already this year, for the spooky season, I've watched bits and pieces of like multiple days. My number 7 is The Addams Family.
It's my number 6.
Sweet. Yeah, because they air this on ABC Family damn near every day. Like people always make the joke, you know, Hocus Pocus is on ABC Family all the time. It's always Hocus Pocus. It's Hocus Pocus and Addams Family.
Addams Family. I noticed this year they're doing Treehouse of Horror like every day, like midnight to 2 a.m.
And Casper's been on a lot too.
Casper's been on a lot.
But no, Addams Family. Yeah, Addams Family. I've had it on a few lists before, so we don't need to go too in depth on it. But I love the Addams Family movie.
I love
every
all
time
the
I watch
Addams Family movies.
Yeah, both of them are good, and they've been airing both of them a lot. Addams Family Reunion we don't talk about.
I'll even throw some love to the DreamWorks or the Illumination Addams Family that came out.
Oh, yeah, and to
year.
clarify, I'm talking about the 90s Addams Family, not that one.
Yeah. You're talking
Because
about
I
the one
didn't
with
necessarily
Christina
enjoy
Ricci
the
and-
new one. Yeah. Raul Julia, Angelica Houston,
Julia.
Chris Lloyd.
Yep.
No, I love the 90s Addams Family. It's always
Yeah.
been one of my favorites. I've loved it for years. I laugh at it. Every time I watch it, I laugh at the same stuff. I was just
Oh, me
laughing
too.
again the
The
other day
humor is
when
golden.
when they come over and this might even be in the second one. I don't remember because they both blend together to me because they're both so good. But someone says to Gomez, "Oh, Gomez, you lady killer," and he goes, "Acquitted." It's just so stupid. The movie is filled with those types of jokes, and I love it. I always bring up my favorite joke in that movie. One of my favorites is when they're for Halloween and Cousin It comes over, and Cousin It's the one with all the long hair, and he's got the cowboy hat on and the cowboy belt, and they say something like, "Yeah, everyone keeps asking where he got his costume." And Gomez, "It is a very nice hat." It just kills
love
me.
it.
I love it. I love it so much because it's just like, of course, that's what he thinks people are looking at, and it's just fun. It is such a loving tribute to that original Addams Family comic, but also the original Addams Family show. The black and white one. It's a loving tribute to that.
They did do a cartoon for a while too, didn't they?
Well, it was a comic strip.
Was it? Okay.
I know there was a 90s TV show that I
Yeah.
used to love growing up watching
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was thinking of.
But no, the movie just kills me every time I watch it. I just think it's fun. I love the idea in the first one of, I mean, I guess we can kind of lump both of them here for this list. But I just love the idea of the first one, that Uncle Fester's been gone for a long time and he's back, and is it him? Is it not
really?
him?
I love the whole summer camp thing with values. The Pilgrims, the
the
Indians
second one,
fighting
yeah.
back from the Pilgrims. Just how Wednesday derails it and makes the history probably a little bit more accurate. Or
The way history should have been.
The history should have been. Yeah, there
Yeah.
we go. But
Yeah. No, like I said, we can kind of lump them both here because they're both equally fun. I used to watch the second one a lot more because that's the one I owned growing up. I never owned the first one. But I
and
love the first
Freeform,
one too.
ABC Family, Fox Family didn't show it every day in October back then.
That's true.
Whatever
That's
it
true.
was
It used to
called
be
back in the
13
day.
nights.
13 nights.
Yeah. I remember it used to be 13 days. Then they switched to 13 nights and they started showing. They sharded a few times after
Yeah.
that. No, they started showing after that like some scarier stuff.
Yeah.
It was a lot more family friendly till it became the 13 nights, and now it's just the full 31 nights. And
Yep.
same with the Fear Fest on AMC. That used to only be like 13 days, but now like the past couple of years they've done the full month of October, which is awesome.
Right.
I've watched Halloween like 3 times already. It's great.
Because I mean, they already like Freeform or ABC Family or Fox Family, whatever you want to
That's
call
right.
it.
It's
nowadays.
Freeform now. I keep saying ABC Family,
Because they always did the 25 days of Christmas, and that
which they still do.
they still do, and that's always been the full month of December has been Christmas.
But
it hasn't the full month of
Now
October.
though, they do the countdown to the countdown, or they do the countdown to 25 days of Christmas, which starts
on
like the
Thanksgiving
last
or
couple
Black
weeks
Friday.
of November, right?
Yeah, I think it's Black Friday. It starts like day after Thanksgiving. All right, turkey's done.
Let's watch Elf.
Let's watch Elf.
For the first of 45 showings this year.
Well, the first showings of Elf start in July. They always do a 24-hour
That's true.
marathon of Elf.
Are you kidding me? Home Alone was on this weekend on HBO or one of them.
Oh, jeez. People
Like
the channels need
to
to
be
get
fair,
together. And,
to be fair, I don't want to see any Christmas movies on in October. It's Halloween. Show me Halloween. Show me all the horror films. But honestly, the minute November 1st hits, I'm ready. I can't wait to like watch Scrooged.
right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm at that point, I'm usually ready to start the Christmas movie and holiday season because I love
all of your Christmas
movies.
movies, and then Thanksgiving, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and then Christmas movies.
And then back to Christmas. Exactly. Like that's usually how I am by that point. Like by that point, I'm usually Halloweened out. I'm horror movied out. Like I'm ready to watch. And I always
Shocker.
do Scrooged. Yeah. Scrooged is always the first movie I watch. November
movie.
1st. Yeah. It's the first one I watch that. So Sunday, November 1st, Scrooged is on in my house. But yeah, I love the Addams Family.
Me too.
It's my number.
number
What did I say?
six.
Was that my
Your
seven?
number 7. So
What's number 7?
My number 7 was
We're just
Monster
gonna skip
Squad.
you for the next couple times, right?
My number 6 was Addams Family.
Then you're 6.
What's your number 6?
All right, my number 6 is an animated film on my list. The only animated film on my list, I believe. Saw this the day it came out. Was really excited for it, and it did not disappoint. My number 6 is Tim Burton's Frankenweenie.
I am halfway through Frankenweenie. It would be on my list, but I finished it.
Okay, I wondered if
love
that
it
was
so
the
far.
one that. Well,
I'm-
where would you put it then?
I would probably put
Because
it
if
right
you
around
love
here,
it so
right
far,
around in the middle,
let's say
right around in the middle.
if you love it so far, throw it on.
I say
That's fine. You haven't watched the whole thing. If you love it already and you're only halfway through and you think it's good, if you say it's going to be on your list, and just pop it on there.
I'd say it's my 5 or 6. So I'd say
Okay.
6 is fair, so we can talk about it now.
So you bump out
Jumanji.
Jumanji's gone, which
Jumanji's
that's
gone.
fine.
That's fine.
I like Jumanji, but
But
you know,
I mean, I'm at the
Frankenweenie's
point.
better.
Like, so right now, I'm at the point where it's like the big town hall meeting where they're all complaining about the science teacher.
Okay,
Right smack dab in the middle of the
something really.
movie. Mr. Ferratu. I don't know.
I know it's Martin Landau, but no, Frankenweenie. Like I said, I remember going to see it in the theater, and I remember being in the theater. A few of us went. It was a big Halloween thing. It was a couple of us. It was a friend of mine and his girlfriend, and we went to a haunted train ride, and then drove across down the road to the theater to see Frankenweenie opening night. And it was just a perfect Halloween night. And I remember sitting in the theater, and when the Disney logo started, dun, 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 and then dun, it all turns black and white. I'm like, literally in the theater, sold. Like and that's even in the score. Like, yeah, if you have the score, the opening song is opening titles logo or whatever, and it actually has where the Disney theme
Logo
and then
and
it
opening,
kicks in.
yeah.
Yeah, it kicks into the organ, and I
organ.
just love that Disney. I'm so happy Disney let him make this black and white. And one is an homage to, kind of those monster movies, but also an homage to his original Frankenweenie, which
I feel like
was
every
black and white.
Frankenstein movie needs to be black and white. Young Frankenstein, Frankenweenie.
Yeah, and it's just and I think what's really cool about this is it's a stop motion animated film that looks gorgeous in black and white. I don't know if
beautiful.
it's because of the fact it's black and white that it pulls those shadows of it actually being real.
Wonder what color the puppets
Real little
actually are.
puppets. What's that? Oh no, they were black and white.
Are
No,
they-
everything was colored. Everything was colored black and white.
Okay, so it was actually
Yeah, it wasn't a post converted black and white. No, everything they made was black and
was
white.
actually black and white. So it was
Yep.
just it was filmed in color. They just made everything black and white.
Correct. It was made in. It was like I said, everything was made black and white, which I think was smart because then you can
Yeah.
really pull those blacks and whites and grays out.
You can really ingrain the details. You can get the details right.
Yeah, and it's great. But other than the style is fantastic, but in terms of the movie, I think it's a really good Halloween time movie because it's a spooky movie. It's about a kid whose dog dies and he brings him back like Frankenstein and whatnot. And
of course,
I don't know how much Cody knows. I don't know how much Cody knows because he hasn't seen it before, so I don't want to spoil too much. But by the end of this movie, it just
We've
becomes
talked about this
full on.
movie in the past.
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what's great is by the end of that movie, it just becomes a full on and 100% chaotic monster film, and I loved it. I love it. The score is awesome. Elfman really knows how to pull at the heartstrings, but also then pull in that monster movie. Dun 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 dun.
I will say it took me way too long to realize that other kid was supposed to be Igor.
Oh my god, he looks just like him. They're all supposed to be someone. Even the other kid, the one that talks like this, is Boris Karloff. He's supposed to be like Boris Karloff, and that's Martin Short playing him too.
Okay, and Catherine O'Hara is that really creepy girl that's going to give me nightmares with the cat.
So Martin Short plays the dad. He also plays the mayor. He plays the Boris Karloff kid. Catherine O'Hara plays the mom. She plays the creepy girl with the cat.
Okay.
I think Winona Ryder is the neighbor, is the mayor's niece.
Okay.
Which was cool. It was him kind of returning to work with all these people. He hadn't worked with Catherine O'Hara, I don't think, since like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare.
Winona Ryder, I don't think he's worked with her since Edward Scissorhands.
Okay.
Martin Short probably since Mars Attacks. So it was really cool seeing all them back. But the movie's also
How
a good.
long he was in
it's-
Mars Attacks.
Hey, he gets his finger bitten off. It's fun. That scene is horrifying. Could have put Mars Attacks on here, but kids aren't going to get it.
Kids aren't going to like
but
it.
also, it's a good movie, but it's also a good movie about a boy and his dog, which is what I really loved about it.
It really is.
It's such an emotional gut punch when that dog dies.
And the thing is, knowing what I went in knowing the dog was dying, so I was waiting, like trying to figure out, was he going to die now? Is he gonna die now? Is he somehow gonna die now? Oh,
Yeah. And the score when it kicks in, one of my favorite moments in the whole movie is one of the saddest moments. Is it's when Victor is sitting. I think he's sitting on his bed, and the theme kicks into the piano. Like, dun dun dun
and it
dun
yeah, and it
dun dun,
cycles
dun, and then it
through his
cycles.
day.
Yeah, it cycles through his day, which is so true to how it is when you lose a loved one, especially a pet. Like literally, I lost my dog in January of this year, and it truly is so true. That scene when it's just cycling through and he's not moving, he's the same, because you do feel like you're just kind of going through the motions and just dull and null, whatever, numb to everything because of just that loss. You know, and I love that. I remember saying at the time that I think this is Elfman's most beautiful score since Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, and I think this was
And I
like
still
your
hold
one or
firm to
two. I think this was your one or two when we did Elfman. Been a while.
That's not my one. I think my one was probably Beetlejuice or Batman. It's on there.
Okay.
I know for sure it was on my 10, but I don't think it was my top 1 or 2 or 3. But I just think for that reason, I think it is one of his most beautiful scores. And I just love when it has to become the monster movie score. Because it's got the organ and stuff. So I really do like Frankenweenie.
That's the movie that I'm going to finish tonight. But yeah, my number 6 as well. So that actually lines up our Addams Family and Monster Squad. So there we go.
Sweet.
So in the middle of every episode, we like to take a look at our box office draft. Wow. I just pulled that from my memories from when was there a box office? Hi. It's time for advertisements. So we're going to take an ad break here for the audio viewers. But for the YouTube listeners, we're still here. Hi.
We're not monetized yet.
We're not monetized yet. And
share this with your friends so we can get monetized.
Exactly.
We have to have 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah. Tell all your friends so then we can give you ads here.
Exactly.
Tell
all your friends so you have to start watching ads on our video.
That's a wonderful motivation. Yeah. There we go. So welcome back, everybody.
Or keep us right at $9.99 and we'll start a Patreon and you can pay us that way.
Yeah. Patreon, buy me a coffee. You can support us on Anchor, but yeah. Welcome back. This is the Get Ranked Movie Podcast, where we take a topic of pop culture and give you our rankings. We are, again, looking at our top 10 films that are family-friendly fall flicks.
Horror, Halloween.
I've completely lost track of where we are. So,
well, since we just did the break, I'm sure we're on 5.
We're on 5.
That's what you mean. I thought you meant just what number. I'm fairly certain we just did the break, so we're on 5. I just did my 5, or my 6 was Frankenweenie. We didn't. Your 6 was after that.
No,
I mean, I know we both had it, but
nope. Because my 6 was Addams Family originally before I changed it to Frankenweenie, but now
that's right. So it is
your 5.
My number 5 is a punt from earlier. My number 5 is truly one of my favorite Halloween movies. I watch it every Halloween. I watched it a lot growing up. My number 5 is Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh, right.
I unabashedly love this movie. I've always been an Ernest P. Worrell fan, a Jim Varney fan. When he died, it was really upsetting. But I've always loved Ernest because of this one. This was the first one I saw growing up. And then we go back and watch Ernest Saves Christmas. Yeah, Ernest Goes to Camp, all that stuff. I still hold that. I think this is the best. Ernest Saves Christmas is pretty damn good too. But I think Ernest Scared Stupid, because I've always been a Halloween and spooky horror person, I think it's always why it was my favorite. What I love about this movie is it was a straight to DVD movie, but the practical effects in this are badass.
Super.
The troll is so cool.
That puppet.
The fact that his whole face is just a giant he's just a big animatronic.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
The look of the troll, and excuse me, this is an intense movie. He turns the kids into wooden dolls, and
so I showed this to my niece last year for the first time, and I skipped those parts.
Probably good.
Whenever I knew it was about to, because I've seen it so many times, I knew what was coming each time. Whenever it was going to get to like an intense moment to where when he turns the one kid into the doll, like in that pipe or whatever, when he's in the bed next to the girl.
Oh yeah, when he's in the bed next to the girl.
Yeah,
I knew
that's
it was
what it
coming.
was, not the pipe in the ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that scene I for sure skipped. I mostly showed her the goofy Ernest parts and him fighting all the trolls at the end because they're all goofy looking and he's spraying it with milk and they go and that's the stuff I showed her. But there's definitely some intense stuff that I like that they didn't shy away from. Like, yeah, it's an Ernest film, but it's a monster film that Ernest is in, which is what I liked. Like it's a full on scary monster horror film that Ernest bumbles his way through.
Somehow.
And that's what I love about it. Like I will always remember this movie. I will always remember
the actual heroes. Ernest really doesn't do much.
Correct. Ernest kisses the troll and everything ends. Like I said, Ernest truly does bungle his way through this whole movie. He brings authentic Canadian Miak, and that doesn't work. But there's fun stuff. I will always remember like just things about this movie. Like watching it last year was the first time I'd watched it in a while when I watched it with my niece. And I remember it so much. Like when they did the pizza thrower thing, I remember that.
Such a waste of pizza.
I know.
I thought like all the food they were wasting there. I mean, the cat food, not so much. But when they threw the whole pizza, it's like, come on.
The whole pizza. It's like, this seems like an expensive prank.
even a hot and ready, $5 a throw. Jeez.
That's a lot.
And
cheesy. Yeah. I remember Eartha Kitt just chewing the scenery, but being really good. I remembered the two guys that run like the hardware store or whatever, the guys that are always in Ernest's movies.
Yeah.
That are selling him the troll catcher and stuff. And I remember the scene with them putting up the billboard and him falling off of it. Like I remember that. Like, I remember all these little things. I remember the gross gooey effects. Like he's always covered in snot, the troll, train tour. And I remember the opening credits, which used to scare the hell out of me. I don't know why, but when I was a kid, the opening credits, it's just a bunch of shots of old, like black and white horror films.
That's right.
Intercut with Jim Varney going,
yeah.
And it just used to creep me out. I don't know why, but it used to always freak me out when I was younger, but I love it. It's stupid.
I also could really relate at the very beginning when he has like the automated machine for the trash can to clean the trash cans. And it's like, that's something I would build. And
it used to freak me out when I was a kid when he would act like the doll was talking to him when he puts the doll's head in the gear. Don't do this, Ernest. I know where you live. He used to freak me out. Is that really him or is that the doll?
You've seen too much.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen No, it's just fun. I definitely am going to watch it again. My niece is coming to visit this week, and I'll probably throw that bastard on again because I love Ernest Scared Stupid. It's just such a fun, goofy ass movie.
And let her watch the whole movie?
I might this year. Let her watch the whole thing.
Warn your brother ahead of time.
I wanted her to watch Monster Squad, but I was like,
not quite.
Not yet. So we threw on Nightmare on Elm Street instead.
Wait.
I'm joking.
The Jackie Earle Haley remake? I couldn't even make it through that.
Well, she watched it and went, this is really not scary. She said, anyone who was scared of this is just awful.
Yeah. Moving on to my number 5. So my number 5 is a recent rewatch that I had seen this movie, and as I watched it, I remembered more and more again. So my number 5 is The Haunted Mansion.
Almost made my list.
Almost made your list.
If I didn't get a chance to rewatch this week, I was going to. If I rewatched it, that might have swayed me more one way or the other. But I remember loving this movie when I first saw it. But
I gotta say, for this movie, Wallace Shawn and the other ghost. I don't know the actress, but I know him. Yeah. Wasn't she? I feel like she was the one that was like always the assistant in the Mel Brooks, like the maid in Dead and Loving It, and the girl that jumps on the horse.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't think so. They look alike, but I don't think so.
But no, this was fun, and I was thinking about like the different stuff. Like I've seen videos of the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney. Of course, I've never been to Disney, and I'm always fascinated by the effects in the ride of like the different.
Do yourself a favor then. Mm-hmm. Find what episode it is of the Imagineering story. They do like a whole like segment on the Haunted Mansion in one of the episodes, and it's awesome.
It's like I
really
love like,
see the details of how they've done it.
Yeah, the stretching room is probably the most fascinating to me.
Yeah,
just
that
the
was cool.
elevator and
Yeah.
how the ride is actually in the warehouse behind the facade mansion.
The facade, yeah.
But no,
No,
I mean,
that episode is cool. They go more in depth of anything else I've watched on the Haunted Mansion ride. They go more in depth on that episode, and it's really cool.
okay, that's good to know.
Even going so far as showing that, like when they redid some of the effects because of just
having
age and
better
stuff,
technology.
they had the daughter of the woman who played the crystal ball, whatever the hell her name is, in the original ride. They had her daughter play her for the remastered version because she looks so much like her and sounds like her.
Oh, they didn't pull
Yeah, it
in
was
Jennifer
really cool.
Tilly.
No.
Jennifer Tilly as the crystal ball was funny in this one.
Madame Leota?
I think so.
No, Madame Leota. That's from a book, right?
Madame Leota. Yeah, no, that's right.
It is Madame Leota. Okay.
So Eddie Murphy is golden in this. His super smiley, customers always right realtor at the beginning.
Evers and Evers Real Estate.
How happy and chipper he is. It's the facade of being a good businessman, and it's all an act, but it's all for to give his kids and wife a happy life and living in their means and all that good stuff, but to actually not be such a good person because he misses all of his kids' stuff because he's selling houses. Terrence Stamp as the butler is great. He's such an ominous.
Of course, he's the bad guy.
And he ends up being the bad guy.
One of the
so
coolest shots in the movie
thing.
is when he first appears when they're at the house and he's walking down the hallway and the lightning and the lights are flickering and you see him coming down the hallway. Like, that's a cool shot.
Yeah.
It was the first movie I think I ever took notice of Terrence Stamp. Probably. I know that guy now and would see him in other things and knew him in Superman 2 at that point,
Right.
No, I remember seeing this in the theater opening night back in 2003 was it? I think it came out.
Something like that.
Because I remember everyone saying wow, Pirates of the Caribbean was so good. No wonder they did Haunted Mansion. Well, they were in production at the same time, believe it or not. So one did not beget the other.
Okay.
Disney was already just deciding to do movies based on their rides.
Which is amazing how well it worked for both. I mean, Haunted Mansion was...
Pirates much better.
Pirates much better. Haunted Mansion didn't get any sequels or anything. But...
No, Haunted Mansion didn't do very well, critically or anything. It didn't.
Box office it made double what it cost.
Yeah. But I remember loving it, and I remember thinking it was a lot of fun because it had moments that were scary but also funny. I remember being in the theater and being really creeped out and scared during the zombie sequence when they're in the crypt.
The spiders are coming out on the outside and the zombies are coming up from the inside.
The spiders creep me out. It's not like spiders, but just the zombie sequence itself was just, I remember thinking it was really intense of them bursting out of the walls and stuff. It just scared the hell out of me. I remember in the theater, and Eddie Murphy's being all goofy and whatnot. But no, and I think the score is really good. I listen to the score every now and then because I love the incorporation of the Haunted Mansion theme.
Okay.
Not the grim grinning ghost. The dun 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 dun. They use it a lot in the movie. They use it really cool way in the very beginning when the guy hangs himself during the credits, and you see it and it shows it, and then it cuts to burn.
Which the guy hanging himself was really intense for a Disney movie. I thought
for a Disney movie. No, absolutely. But yeah, like I said, it was close to making my list, but it was just shy.
Yeah. And again, I loved it. I always say, Wallace Shawn and Dana Spivey, whoever she is, were really good in the movie. And I always love...
Name sounds familiar.
The statues of the Barbershop Quartet. They look so great. How they move and how they're just they're statues. They're singing statues.
Yeah.
And I will say... that must be where I get if somebody says the first two words of a song, I have to just continue singing of that song. But
them having ridden the ride, their incorporation of a lot of the staples from the ride was really cool.
The floating
the heads,
torches at the beginning, the heads,
the floating torches, the hitchhiking ghosts. Their incorporation of a lot of that the pictures that change was really cool that they were able to cram a lot of references to the ride into the movie.
Yeah. So I really want to ride the ride. I don't want to go to Disney though. I do want to go to Disney, but I mean, I feel like Disney
So
is always
basically,
overhyped.
just go to Galaxy's Edge and then make your way over and ride the Haunted Mansion.
There we go. That's all I need to do.
You think Disney's overhyped? You said.
I've heard.
You haven't been there? How would you know?
I know.
It's honestly, it's going to be more fun if you're a kid because a lot of it's geared towards kids.
Right.
But I still think you'd have a ball. I went when I was a kid. I went when I was like 7.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but I remember loving it.
We didn't
But I
do
still
super big
think
vacations like that when we were little.
It was the biggest one we did when I was little was that. The furthest we ever went was Cedar Point.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even do that. We did Michigan's Adventure a lot.
Yeah, well, we did that too. But the biggest one back then, was we took a trip to Florida to go to Disney World and Universal. But Disney, I still think you'd like it. I think I'd even like it now just to be there. You know,
just to be there.
Place on Earth.
Exactly.
You know? And just to be able to say, like, I've rode, I mean, I did at the time, but just to be able to be like, I'm going to go ride Pirates of the Caribbean, which I think would be more fun now.
Oh,
because it's got Jack Sparrow. It's more
They've
of the
added
movies,
to
which
it.
is cool.
And I want to, I mean, I really should watch more of the Imagineering stories.
You really should watch. That show is awesome.
I love the behind the scenes of theme parks. I don't know why I haven't watched more. It's just
you'll love it.
time.
It's so cool.
I watched the first
I
episode and I did love it. And it
might be in the second or third that's got the Haunted Mansion sequence, but it's just cool because they go through all of like the big things at Disney have like a segment on the show.
Yeah, I think
So
the
they
one
have
that
a
I
whole
watched was
segment
the
on
one about the
pirates.
monorail.
Yeah, the monorail is like one of the big first things, but they have a whole sequence on pirates, on the Haunted Mansion, on a lot of like the big staples of Disney World.
Okay.
So, all right, Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion, my number 5. Moving down to my number 4. Trying to think of a smart way to introduce this. My number 4 is Who You're Gonna Call.
You're gonna call my number 4.
When there's something strange in the neighborhood. My number 4 is Ghostbusters. And Ghostbusters 2.
Mine too. My number 4 is Ghostbusters.
Fair. No, so my number 4 is Ghostbusters. That's the one I wrote down.
Yeah, me too.
We can talk about all 3, but I mean the first one,
including the game, right?
Exactly.
I mean, we've talked about these a shitload before, so we don't have to go too in depth. But no, Ghostbusters is awesome.
Yeah, Rick Moranis being possessed by the Key Master and
getting punched in the head in New York City.
Punched in the head in New York City. Yeah, that was sad. When I saw
that, awful.
Why would you punch Rick Moranis?
What makes me more angry about it is like the guy just came out of retirement. He's just coming back to New York. You're going to send him straight back to Canada. He's going to go, I knew there was a reason I stayed away from America. Is this bullshit?
Yeah. Seeing him in that commercial with Ryan Reynolds was just so weird.
It was so cool. It was so weird, but it was so cool. Like Rick Moranis is back. Like he's back doing stuff. You know, I love it. It's so awesome.
Maybe that's a hint that he's coming back in Ghostbusters.
I'm hoping that he secretly filmed a cameo because that would be awesome. Or even now being like, now that he's back, if I was Jason Reitman, I'd be like, hey, we have a whole year before this thing comes out now.
Right.
Come film something real quick. Even if it's you over Zoom talking to Bill Murray, let's film it.
Exactly. He could stay in Canada for that one.
Exactly.
No, we're finally getting Spaceballs 2. That's what's happening.
They better hurry. Mel Brooks ain't getting any younger. But no, Ghostbusters, like I said, we've talked the hell out of this, so we'll be brief, but it's truly one of the best comedies, I think, of all time. And I think what makes it fun is they treat the science 100% serious. They're never, ever poking fun at, look at this goof. I mean, Bill Murray's poking fun at, look at this goofy stuff.
Because he's skeptical anyway.
Because he's skeptical, but it's never, let's laugh at these goofy things. No, it's always, they don't dumb it down. Like, when Dan Aykroyd's talking about this thing and this thing, he's using big science words, and you're just supposed to go with it. Just accept that that's a ghost trap.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's fun. And it's got so many goofy, fun moments. Like the
Stay-Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, I think it's good for kids. Some kids, I mean, you're going to want some younger kids. You know what I mean? Like maybe at least over than 10 so they can get a lot of the jokes. Mm-hmm. But they're going to like seeing the special effects of the ghosts, which I still think hold up. Are they obvious puppets a lot of times? Yeah.
Yeah, especially Slimer.
Exactly. But I still think they're going to have fun with it. They're going to have fun with like you said, the climax, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and all of that. But I think it's that's why you do see it on a lot around this time of year. It's because it is a fun comedy horror movie that still holds up as I think one of the best comedies of all time.
Exactly. And great score, great acting, great comedy, great effects. I mean, I'd still say that effects do hold up. Even with the puppets, even with the claymation, even with the
because there's a sweetness to the special effects in terms of the fact that it is like, you know, you can tell it was made in the 80s, but it still looks cool.
It does.
The proton packs look when they shoot the
electro beam
proton stream looks cool.
The proton stream. There we go. Don't cross the stream.
I was just looking to see who was doing the score for the new Ghostbusters, and it's not anyone like big. That's upsetting.
Who is it?
His name is Rob Simonson. He hasn't done like any like big like he did Surf's Up, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus,
There was a chicken
Moneyball,
named Cody.
Life of Pi, The Way, Way Back, Stonewall. Like nothing like that. Like I see that and go, he's going to give us a really big, awesome Ghostbuster score. I mean, hey, I could be surprised, but I was hoping to see like a Bear McCreary or Elfman would have been cool, or someone who I think is more known for doing like big, cool, awesome musical scores. And this guy seems
Just
like he's more of like someone
Bernstein.
who does. Yeah, he just seems someone who does more like you're just kind of not generic in the bad sense, but generic in the sense of like it's a love movie, so you're not gonna have anything like big and bombastic,
right?
So
but I mean,
hopefully
plus they have the two other movies like to pull the themes from, and there's
like the
to
movie
work
like the new one that Paul Feig did. They used the score quite a bit in that movie, which was fun.
Mhm.
So I hope they do that a lot with this.
Okay. Yeah.
But, Cody, anything else on Ghostbusters?
Nothing else on Ghostbusters.
Well, busting makes me feel good. All right. That was my 4 as well. Moving on to my number 3. My number 3 is a pun from earlier. My number 3 is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Alrighty.
This was one that I have loved. As another one I grew up with. And I don't mean
I
grew
hadn't
up with
watched
in the
it
sense
before.
that I was alive in 1948. I mean, grew up with that when I was young. We had this on VHS, and I watched it and fell in love with Abbott and Costello. And I loved the Universal monsters, and I just always laughed my ass off at this movie, and was again the other day rewatching it.
Same. So I watched this one with a group of friends who had also never seen it, and we had a
Sweet.
blast. We were laughing all the
It's
way
so
through,
good.
and then like some of the twists and turns, like when he calls her Sandra at the very beginning, we're like, I think you know, for the reaction that we want to get, that she's in love with him because she's working for Dracula, or whatever name he takes in that movie.
Dr. something Legault or something.
Lugosi.
Dr. Lugosi. Yeah. No, it's just so much fun. My favorite sequence in the entire movie, and it always has been, is at the Wax Museum. That has always been my favorite part of that entire
when they're
movie.
unpacking the bodies.
The unpacking sequence is fun. When he's standing on the crate and, and it's going back and forth, it's Lou Costello's just screaming his as he's going. It just kills me. But no, it's them when they're at the Wax Museum and he's, the moment I always laugh at. It's not even the plaque part that kills me. It's when they're actually wheeling in the crate. That part is funny, but it's when they're wheeling the crate in and he's already scared of everything, and they wheel past like something, a guy with an axe or something, and Lou Costello just goes, oh, and just points at it and just goes, oh, and like to like Chick, like, do you see this? And it just, I don't know, it just makes me laugh. But no, but that sequence, when he's opening, and the iconic when he's so scared he can't call Chick, and he's which was parodied in the movie The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. There's a moment in that movie where Ryan Gosling is just blackout drunk and he falls off the side of this house and rolls down the hill and lands against a tree. And he looks over and there's a dead body.
Oh no.
And he tries to shout to Russell Crowe's character and goes, and literally, I remember in the theater going, is this supposed to be a parody of Abbott and Costello? And then finding out afterwards that yes, it was. Like, that was absolutely what it was supposed to be, which is great. But that whole sequence when the coffin's opening and the lights moving.
And I love that they got the actors, Bela Lugosi and
Lon Chaney.
I was not familiar with Glenn Strange.
Well, Glenn Strange played Frankenstein a lot when Karloff wouldn't. So he, he's not necessarily the originator of the role, but he is one of the iconic people playing the part. They even got, do you know who plays the Invisible Man at the very end?
Is it the guy that plays the Invisible Man?
It was Vincent Price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Vincent Price just doing a little uncredited cameo.
I would have guessed Chevy Chase.
No one wants Chevy Chase being invisible.
So I did notice, I had to look it up because I was wondering, like, okay, so they the Invisible Man's right there. So does Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man just pick up where this movie leaves off? No, it's a completely different story.
No, it's its own thing. I think they just threw that in because it's a fun little sequence, and they can get Vincent Price to do the voice.
Yeah,
that's just
cool.
It's filled with just so many damn good parts. When he's at the hotel room and with Lon Chaney,
he keeps going back in the room.
The
apple. Do you think he counted these?
Yeah, you think he counted these? He kills me. Luke Costello is so damn funny in this movie. Every time he screams
I feel bad for him. I feel bad when Abbott is yelling at him every time in every moment they're in. He's so mean.
When they're investigating the mansion and they go down into like the cellar area where there's the water and he gets the spinny wall, and he sits in the chair with Frankenstein and he's looks down at the hand and goes. And he puts his hand up, I love they let him do this. He looks straight into the camera and goes,
There's a handful of fourth wall breaks that I noticed, and it's like when he just like looks at the camera, shrugs, and then keeps walking. I think my favorite sight gag in the whole movie is when they're being chased by Frankenstein's monster, and they go into the room and they say, brace the door, and they push the bed up against the door, and then the door just opens the other way.
The door opens from the other direction.
That's one of my biggest sight gags, my favorite sight gags in that whole movie. It's fantastic.
I like right after that when he runs out into the hallway and he pulls the tablecloth. No, before that he pulls the tablecloth and nothing, and he runs back, looks at it, and kind of looks at the camera like, and then takes off running again.
When he looks at the camera, shrugs, and, he's like, "Hey, look what I can do." That was
fun trivia fact for you. It's also iconic in the sense that this is the only other time Bela Lugosi played Dracula, the character of Dracula, in a feature film other than the movie Dracula.
Oh, really?
He had played numerous vampires throughout the years, and he would pop up in like maybe TV things here and there. But it's the only other time he played the character of Dracula in a feature film was Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Yeah. And it was kind of considered like a swan song for the series, for all those Universal monsters. It was at the tail end of all those. All of them really didn't play those parts anymore. And I love it for that reason. It's just a big mashup.
Do you guys want to do this really dumb comedy with us?
Yeah, and Luke Costello didn't like the script. He didn't want to do the movie. He didn't like the script. He warmed to it while they were making it and actually liked it by the end, but he did not like the script at the start. I would love them to do one now. Resurrect Luke Costello and Bud Abbott. Mm-hmm. And do like a new version where it's like them meeting Jason and you got Michael and Freddy and
I feel like that would be a Robot Chicken sketch.
He can see the shape slowly walking towards him. He just Chico. That's the one that kills me. When he screams, he goes Chico, and he looks back down at the casket. So good. I love it. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I watch it. I haven't watched it as much as I should. I usually watch it once a year. Mm-hmm. And just rewatching again the other day just reminded me how much I love this movie. It still holds up as one of the best.
For the first time.
Almost 100 years old.
Yeah, that's insane. Don't check
my number 3.
People.
Well, no, I said almost. I didn't say is.
Right.
I mean, we're definitely
72 years.
Almost 30 years off.
Yeah.
But regardless, my number 3, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Oh, right. So moving over to my number 3. My number 3 is another one that I'm not sure if it's going to be a punt. It's going to be close. My number 3 is Beetlejuice.
So we can talk about. It's my number 2.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to think the other day what I texted you that I wanted to see an intercut of. And what was it that I said the cut where he's saying, say it?
I have no idea.
I can't remember what it was. I texted you the other day. I said, I want to. No, you don't have to. I wanted to see an intercut of the sequence where he's trying to get her to say the name Beetlejuice, and he shouts, okay. It was topical. It was the debate. I said, I want to see an intercut of them asking Trump to denounce white supremacy, and then just cut to Beetlejuice. Just say it, and him just falling over the railing. Oh, that debate was a monstrous affair. But anyways, it's your number 3, my number 2, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, yes, the star out in Orion's shoulder,
which apparently is what they wanted to name the movie. They actually wanted to spell it that way, but the studio was worried people wouldn't understand how it was supposed to be pronounced and stuff. So they just did the phonetic version.
I feel like you see it in the movie, like written
you do.
Out like that.
No, you do. His name in the movie is Beetlejuice.
Okay,
Betelgeuse, whatever you want to say. Like his tombstone is Geuse or whatever. His name on the commercial is that spelling.
Guisc.
Yeah.
Or
No,
GUIC,
but they've
whatever.
decided the studio to do the phonetic version because audiences aren't going to understand what the hell this movie's called.
Right.
Which
And
was smart, I
it
think.
was smart, yeah. And now this was this was not an original property. It was?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay, this was the original. Okay.
It was supposed to be a much darker movie. It wasn't supposed to be a comedy. This was written as a much darker, more
Really?
serious, like kind of almost blacker comedy in the sense, but it was supposed to be a lot more intense. Like, there was supposed to be like some like really darker, scarier shit.
Mhm.
But then Burton come in and they got some screenwriters to come in and help punch it up and make it more of just a comedy.
Okay. So,
It's
that's-
great.
I'm glad it was a comedy.
I watched it
I really
again.
liked it.
Yeah, I watched it again. It was on the other day, and I watched almost all of it again. And
I
just
still gotta
I love it.
I've still got to say, Alec Baldwin is almost unrecognizable to me in that movie. He was so
Yeah,
skinny.
because he's not screaming and being an asshole.
So, yeah, and he was just a lot skinnier, and he was also 30 years younger than he is now.
True.
Right.
He's really good in it. That's
40?
one of the things that's the strengths of this movie is the style is really good, the music is cool, but the actors they knock it out of the park.
actors
Catherine
are good.
O'Hara is awesome as
Mhm.
always, and her and Jeffrey Jones, which we won't talk about Jeffrey Jones much because
as much,
he has a really
yeah.
troubled history. He's good in it though. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't want to deny that he was good at the time when he was in stuff. Like I love Jeffrey Jones and Ferris Bueller and all that stuff. And he's good in this. But Catherine O'Hara I've always thought was funny. I love the moment at the end when she scares the dad with the beetle snake bust
Mm.
and he falls over in the chair and she turns and goes, he likes it and just walks away. I love it. She's so good.
Yeah, I always love the
but
guy
if-
that plays Otho.
Glenn Shaddix, rest
Glenn
in peace.
His character. I love the entire finale scene, like this the
Seance
with the seance where Beetlejuice comes into the real world and
into the
he's,
wedding. Yeah.
He does the wedding. He does the carnival barker. He does.
I just love, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I don't do 2 shows a week.
Yeah.
I won't do it. It's
Hey.
just Michael Keaton's voice. It's so good.
And I love the rumors that we're getting that there is more coming. There's a sequel coming.
I wish Michael Keaton has said for a few years now that that has been like his favorite character he's played,
yeah.
and that he would 100% come back and do it.
Mhm.
They need to hurry up and do it. Just do it because he's not getting younger.
Yeah. It's
You
like,
know
I
what I
think the
mean?
last. Yeah, we've been hearing rumors for a couple years.
Yeah.
He's big and back, and he's a Spider-Man villain now, a repeat Spider-Man villain at that.
That's true.
Um,
And I would love it because just to be back in that world, give Tim Burton the reins again, bring his style back. I would love to hear a new Beetlejuice score that's
mhm.
by Elfman, where he would use the score again, but bring in some new stuff because
He
I think
always
the
adds his own-
strengths,
he always
one
adds
of the
more to it.
strengths of the movie is the score. The Beetlejuice score is
Bum,
awesome.
Bum, 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 bum. I love it.
Copyright strike.
Yes, because our singing is that wonderful.
Danny Elfman's at home. How dare them? They're making a mockery of my score. But I love Beetlejuice. It is definitely, this is all year round watch for me because I think it's just a fun comedy.
Yeah, I can pick
But
up
you-
this movie any time of
Yeah.
the year and watch it. It's not set on Halloween or anywhere even
No,
close.
It's just a spooky movie because it deals
Spooky
with
movie.
death and ghosts and stuff. But you definitely see it a lot around this time of year. I'm sure it's on probably tonight on ABC Family, Fox Family.
I will
um,
say I looked at the schedule, and right now I think Ghostbusters 2 is starting as of time of this recording right now. They did Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 tonight, and then
Vigo, the Scourge of Carpathia. But anyways, yeah, Beetlejuice is so good.
It is
We
a
don't need
very
to talk
fun
too
movie.
much because we've talked the hell out of Beetlejuice
Mhm.
before, but it's truly one of the best. I think it's I think I said it was my favorite Tim Burton movie.
it was mine.
I think so.
It
Yeah, I think it was my
definitely
favorite Burton movie. It's just so good. It's so damn good. I love Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
It's my number 2.
Your number 2. So moving over, my number 2. My number 2 is one that I've talked about a lot. So my number 2 is When Good Ghouls Go Bad. This was a ABC Family original movie that Nick forgot about again. Even though I made a
What's
point
funny
to
is
mention it last week when we were
the
talking
other
about
day
it.
I remember thinking about it and I was like, I need to rewatch that so I can put it on my list and just biffed on it. All right, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is gone.
Okay.
We're just going to bump everything up 1. I'm going to throw this.
It was almost my number 1.
It's not going to be that low. No, this is going to be my bottom 5. This is going to go at number 7. It's going to bump all those up.
Bump Adam's Family up Okay.
Yeah, Adam's Family goes up one.
Okay. Yeah, this
And
was
When
almost
Good
my number
Ghouls-
one.
Yeah,
For
and then
sure.
When Good Ghouls Go Bad, that will pop that at my 7.
So punt, and we'll talk about it now.
Especially since the fact that I'm pretty sure the reason you've seen it is because of me.
I don't know. I feel like I
'Cause
saw
I used to
this
talk
movie.
the hell out of this movie.
I think we used to both talk about it a lot because I feel like I just remember watching this on ABC Family or Fox Family, whatever it was back in the day. I don't know what it.
I think it was Fox Family at that
It was
time.
a Fox Family original movie. So yeah, not even straight to DVD, straight to television, which normally is one step lower. But this movie holds up well. The story is honestly really great. It's
R.L.
terrifying.
Stine.
It's terrifying about, this kid was killed in a
It's
kiln,
really a tragic story in
burned to
the
death.
end.
Yeah, over idolizing Uncle Fred.
Who couldn't idolize Uncle Fred, though?
Exactly.
Like Christopher damn Lloyd.
Exactly.
Most lovable damn person. Even when he's a zombie trying to eat people's brains. I think that's in this movie, right? When he tears that old woman's head off. It's really horrible.
I don't think
No, but
that was
I've always
this one.
thought that's what I've always liked
That was
about the
Back to
movies.
the
It is
Future
kind of
Part
a...
4.
That's right. When Doc Brown comes back from the future infected by the coronavirus and just starts eating people. No, but I've always loved this movie. I remember watching it when it first came out, like you said, on Fox Family back in the day. I had the book by R.L. Stine. I read the hell out of it. It's around here somewhere. It came with a bookmark that's got Christopher Lloyd on it because it's the movie version.
Oh, geez.
I have this movie on VHS and DVD. It was like one of the first DVDs. It was one of the first DVD converts I bought in the sense, and what I mean by that is it was one of the first ones that I made a point to get on DVD of something I already had on VHS because I wanted the DVD of it.
Right.
And I remember ordering it. Tells you how old this movie is. I remember ordering it from Media Play.
Oh my.
Yes.
Wow.
Which has not been there for a long time, but I remember ordering the DVD of it and being excited when I got it because I got special features.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a better quality version. I honestly, let me see if I have it. I think I have the score on my phone.
Oh, jeez.
Because I think the score for the movie is really good. I think it's
Say who did the music?
I don't have it on here right now, but I know I have it.
Gordon.
It's in my hidden purchases somewhere because I know I've got it.
Yeah.
But I love When Good Ghouls Go Bad. It truly
won,
is.
The soundtrack won Australian Screen Music Awards Best Music for a Telemovie.
Yeah, this movie was definitely made in Australia, and you can tell because a lot of the accents are really spotty in this.
Mm-hmm. Except for
what was the
Christopher
guy's
Lloyd.
names? Christopher Gordon?
Christopher Gordon.
I gotta figure out how to find my purchases on here because I don't
he did
see
like
it on here.
Master and Commander in 2003. He did.
Because I have the score,
couple
but it's telling me I
others.
gotta buy it again. That's bullshit.
He's a politician now.
Is he really?
He's a mayor of a city.
Well, that's cool.
So,
But to do like Master and Commander, like that's no little film.
right.
You know what I mean? Like that's a big budget movie. Was it like an offshoot? Was it actually like Master and Captain? Like one of those straight to DVD like Transmorphers?
So yeah, in the top it says Master and Commander, but if you actually go down into his filmography, it's Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World, which is
That is Master and Commander.
Oh, is it?
That's the
Okay.
subtitle of Master and Commander.
Oh, I never realized that.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's the subtitle of Master and Commander. But no, but I remember thinking even then, like, this score is so good. And I remember finding the score on iTunes like years ago, like, oh, the whole score is on here. And I'm always taken to the fact that, like, yeah, this movie is like a kid's movie. It's Halloween, it's spooky, there are zombies, but it's such a good story. I
There's
love
Curtis
the
Danko,
idea
there's
of
zombie Michael Jackson.
That's true. And I always have loved that the sequence at the end when everything's over with and the zombies just kind of are walking away,
Mm-hmm.
which
where
has
are
always
they
made me laugh that they're just walking away. But I've always loved when Christopher Lloyd says, "What are you going to do?" Or they say to Uncle Fred, "What are you going to do?" He goes, "I'd like to take your grandmother dancing one more time in the Fireflies." And it's all the zombies dancing and the score becomes like a really slow piano theme. And I'm like, this is so good, but it's just so perfect. But it's got some really fun stuff for kids. This one is one I probably will show my niece this weekend. Like I'm putting this on this weekend because I think she'll love it. I think
You
she'll
just want
love
to rewatch it.
I do. I'm gonna watch that tonight. No, I've got too many things. I had like 400 things on last night that I recorded that I have to watch tonight
Oh, geez.
because everything's on Sunday nights.
Everything's
of
on
course.
Sunday nights.
No, but I think I love the goofy stuff like the hand when he gets his hand cut off and basically you just get Evil Dead 2 for 20 minutes.
Right.
one sequence
the
always
horrible
freaked me
CG
out.
pile of pumpkins that
Oh
kills
God, I forgot about that. Happy Halloween. The pumpkins crush him. I remember loving and being creeped out by when the one, I think I remember talking to you about it. I had a screenshot of it on my phone for a long time, when the zombies come into the house, when they're in the house and this guy just busts into their doorway and goes, "Look out, they're putting up Halloween decorations," and he runs away and they go, "Who?" And then the zombies bust in the doorway and go, "The zombies," and they're really creepy looking. But it's not that moment. It's when they bust in the door and there's one in the front that's got like glasses, and he almost looks like R.L. Stein kind of, or Stephen King even, and he says something like, "We've had plans for him and for you," and then he does like this really creepy like, and he shows his teeth. Like, I had a screenshot of that on my phone for a long time to be like, look at this. This is a kid's film.
Right.
Because it's really
Exactly.
freaky looking. But it's just fun. It is a really good movie. And it is, like I said, a really, like you said, a really sad, tragic storyline of like this kid everyone was scared of, that you can't show this statue because it's going to drive you mad, you know. And it's
Right.
about the coach being an asshole and trying to turn people against him. And at the end, it's just, look at, he was making one of his hero, and it was Uncle Fred. This
Yeah.
creepy, it's, you know, of course the movie's message is don't judge people by the way they look or they dress, because they are just like you. There's this creepy goth looking kid, but his hero is Uncle Fred, the person
Right.
who the entire town's hero is.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, my number 2, almost my number 1,
It's a good movie.
but no, I think we both have the same number 1.
All right, moving down to my number 1. My number 1 is John Carpenter's Halloween.
Expected it. Mine too.
No. It should be, but no. My number 1 is just a bunch of hocus pocus.
Yep, mine too.
It has to be. If we're doing a list of family-friendly Halloween and horror, like, I didn't want to because it seems the obvious choice, but it's the best. It's the best.
It's
Bette
the best.
Midler's big fake teeth. It is the best, dude. I
It's like
love
Kathy
Hocus
Najimy
Pocus.
eating the entire movie.
That's true. When they go to what's Frank Marshall's house, which is weird because like, is his wife Penny Marshall? I mean, I know it's Penny Marshall, but like, are we supposed to believe that that's his wife too? Because that's his sister, and I know it's weird. But Kathy Najimy is my favorite part of this movie. She always has been.
Mhm.
One of my favorite moments in the movie is when Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy are all in a circle and they're talking. And Bette Midler says something like, "If we don't do this by the sunrise, you will turn to dust." What? Dust! And Kathy Najimy, she just screams. Just fucking kills me. I love it. No, like I said, I know this is the obvious choice, but it's the only choice.
It's
This
the only
truly
choice.
has become the staple of like Halloween family programming on television in October is Hocus Pocus. And I know everyone, you know, the big thing everyone tries to do is, oh, it's not as good. You know, whenever anything becomes big and popular, everyone tries to act like it's the worst. Hocus Pocus is the best.
It can't. Yeah,
It'll always
you
be the
can't
best.
dethrone Hocus Pocus. And I mean, re-seeing the memes and just bits of the movie that I forgot about, like when they stop the bus driver and they say, "We desire children." He said, "Well, it might take me a while, but
I know there's some filthy shit in this movie. This is where I fell in love with Sarah Jessica Parker, and I've never understood the thing online and people say when she's unattractive. Like, I don't know if it's because of this movie, but I have always and always will find Sarah Jessica Parker attractive because of this. It started with this movie. But it's just a fun Halloween movie. When I think of
It is.
Halloween, I either think of Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween, or I think of Hocus Pocus, because I
Right.
think this movie captures Halloween so well. That night of Halloween where, you know, it's the blues, and I think the score is really good by John Debney. The witches, it's just fun. It's just a fun Halloween movie. They're all three so fun. It blows my mind, the world we live in now of sequels and whatnot, that we have not gotten a sequel to Hocus Pocus.
I saw somebody say something about Bette Midler would be on board.
They all have said they would.
They've all said they'd be on board.
That's what blows my mind even more, is all three actresses have said multiple times over the years, our phone is here. I'm waiting for a call and would love to do it. And they don't. I don't. With how big this movie has gotten over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, to where it's like on ABC Family like 30 times in October. Like,
at least.
It's huge. They literally are the Halloween show at Disney World every year. It is they're the stars of it, are the Sanderson sisters.
Oh, geez.
And it's them bringing with magic out like the famous Disney villains. Like, it's the Sanderson sisters show. Like, how big this movie is, and it has not got a sequel. And I know they announced like a few years
Disney Plus
ago.
will do something.
Well, a few years ago, they announced they were going to do a reboot, and everyone lost their mind. It's like, why? We don't want this.
Oh, we don't want
Give
a
us
reboot.
a
We want a
sequel.
sequel.
But then they announced that it wasn't going to be necessarily a reboot, that was going to include the original actors in it as well. And it's all just up in the air, and that it could be a Disney Plus thing.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. I think they're stupid for not fast tracking a sequel to this as fast as they could.
If
Because
anything,
it would make a lot of money.
Yeah, that would be one of the biggest things. I mean, they probably couldn't have started it during COVID.
No.
Hocus Pocus via Zoom.
I'd watch it.
I do.
If it had Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, and Sarah Jessica Parker, I'm watching it.
Have they done a
know.
like? I've been seeing a lot of casts doing like rereads on Zoom. Like I watched
I don't think they've done anything of this.
I watched the reread of Scott Pilgrim. I watched a little bit of the Princess Bride one. I watched a couple others that have just been. I mean, it's just them reading their lines on Zoom. I mean, they're acting.
It'd be cool
still.
if they
They're doing
did
the accents and
if
whatnot.
they did something like this. Yeah, it'd be cool if they did something like that for this. But I haven't seen anything of it. But I know Bette Midler, when she is on tour, she performs "I Put a Spell on You" in the full.
Of course,
Winifred Winifred Sanderson costume. Yeah, exactly. Like she does the full, and she still got it. She can still rock the hell out of that part. And I just don't get why they haven't done it. But it is the quintessential Halloween movie. The minute we decided this list, I went and put it at my number one.
Me too.
It's a no-brainer. It's Hocus Pocus. It's truly. I will watch it probably 10 times before the end of October. One, because it's on all the time.
Because it's just
And
on.
two, just because it's a Halloween movie and it puts me in the mood for Halloween and gets me in the mood for that spooky season. And I love it. So my number one and Cody's number one. Hocus Pocus.
And the thumbnail for this video probably. We'll see.
Hocus Pocus. You could throw Chris Lloyd up there.
I'm going to throw Christopher Lloyd, Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters.
Although I wouldn't do all of them that are in our top 5.
I have a lot. Okay.
Spread out. Maybe put the vampire from Monster Squad, or you got to put Abbott and Costello in there somewhere.
Yeah,
just a big collage.
Just everything.
But you got to have the shape. He's got to be the recurring.
I'll throw
just to make people wonder: is he in their list? What?
Yeah, I'll throw in. Just
hide
random,
him somewhere.
I was throwing random cartoon or horror movie characters, Jason in the back.
I would just do Michael. Just keep that Michael right there. And the joke being, that, let's say you've got Bud Abbott and you just have a little Michael popping out behind him. Something, you know what I mean? Just hide him somewhere, I think should be the recurring joke of all of the October Halloween Horror Month episodes. Yeah, it's just hide Michael Myers somewhere. But yes, with that episode out, we want to head to our website. That's right. Head to our website, getrankedmoviepodcast.com. Buy yourself a mug right there. Get Ranked Movie mug, Ghostbusters parody mug. It's perfect for the Halloween season.
Yeah, I just realized that.
That's right. We have face masks now with our logo on it. So head over there and get one of those as well.
I'm surprised that glass of water lasted me the whole show.
Yeah,
I was really
they help support the show, and they help show your support for the show, and they keep you safe during this pandemic when you should be wearing a mask all the time. Yeah, even in your house. When you're sitting at home, just wear a mask. I've got one around here.
When we get ours, we'll just both record an entire episode wearing the mask.
That's right. Here's the cure for cancer. We're gonna say it right now.
You were born in the dark. Wait.
I was just gonna do it, but if you weren't doing one, I was going to. Batman. That is, count them, 2 Bane references in 2 consecutive weeks. Will we keep it up? Tune in to find out.
Probably.
Head over to Facebook, and you can find our posts on there as well. Leave a comment on the post. What are your favorite movies to get you in the mood for Halloween that are family friendly, that are fun and spooky filled, that you show with your family every year? Do you watch Hocus Pocus over and over like some people? Do you watch Beetlejuice? Do you watch John Carpenter's Halloween as a family? Let us know in the comments. Head over to iTunes and leave us a review on there, please. Hopefully a 5-star review. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a cauldron. Okay, a big black cauldron. Go to Spirit Halloween, wherever you can find your cauldrons. The Cauldron Store. I'm sure everyone's got a cauldron store in driving distance. Head over to the Cauldron Store and buy yourself a big old black cauldron. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to throw some water in there. You always got to have a base. Got to throw water in. A little bit of chicken broth, Eye of Newt, Mrs. Grass, some garlic. We talked garlic earlier. Throw some garlic in. The tears of your neighbors, of your enemies. Exactly. Throw all that in. Then you're going to take your phone. You're going to turn on the Get Ranked Movie podcast, and you're going to throw that right in. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to cause a magic spell, and it is going to create a new person based on our show. Now, you're going to name this person Get Ranked. I was trying to think of a parody name on Get Ranked, and I couldn't. I'm sorry. Name him Get Ranked. First name Get, last name Ranked.
Gil Frank.
Now what you're going to do, Gil Franked, exactly. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take Get Ranked down to the local village office, wherever your village office is. Now you're going to sign him up to vote because every vote counts. And Get Ranked needs a vote. And then you're going to take him downtown to the town square, and you're going to show him fire for the first time. Now, he's not going to like fire because he's just created. He doesn't know what fire is. He's going to go crazy. He's going to start destroying stuff. Now, when the cops come to your house to ask you, why did you create this abomination named Get Ranked? And why is he destroying the town? You can say, I have no idea. Go talk to my neighbor. His name is Cody. And plot twist, you're Cody's neighbor. And you just create a monster. And Cody's going to have to answer for it. Now, Cody, when they come to your house, you're going to have to explain what Get Ranked is. And you're going to say,
Get Ranked is a movie podcast.
that's right. So make sure you like and subscribe. Exactly. So yes, spooky, 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 Halloween, 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 trick or treat, hocus pocus. So make sure you head on our YouTube page. If you are listening to the audio version, we do have a YouTube page now, Get Ranked Movie Podcast. You can find this show on there with video. You can see our lovely faces.
Oh, faces.
That's right. Or faces. And you can watch the video version. You can actually see us doing the show live on tape. Make sure you like the episode you're currently watching. That really helps the show. It helps get it out there. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on our page, on our YouTube page, so you make sure you don't miss a single episode of the show. You can hit that little bell icon too, and you'll get a notification on your phone when we post a new episode. That's right. So make sure you like and subscribe. It helps the show and help grow our YouTube page. You don't like listen to audio? Here you go. You can watch the YouTube channel and see our faces.
14 times Hocus Pocus is playing on Freeform in the month of October.
Exactly. And if
It
you
would have been 13 and would have been perfect had they're playing it twice on Halloween.
Of course they are.
And
it can be more if you own the DVD like I do.
You own the DVD. No,
have Disney Plus.
Or have Disney Plus. Their Halloween Day lineup: Twitches 2, Halloween Town 2, Hocus Pocus, Addams Family Values, Hocus Pocus, Ghostbusters.
I told you, Addams Family and Hocus Pocus has become kind of the de facto programming block for that network during Halloween.
I'm actually seeing a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas as well, and Corpse Bride.
You see, it's weird they're not showing Frankenweenie. But
say they're doing.
Oh well,
they are showing the 2016 Ghostbusters.
Sweet,
Freeform premiere.
Cool. So yes, make sure you do that. Like and subscribe our YouTube page. Head over to iTunes, leave us a review. We hope you enjoy this episode. Maybe gave you some good ideas to watch with your family around the spooky season. Maybe there are some you haven't seen. Maybe you've never heard of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Now you're going to sit around the campfire and watch the movie. You like a little pause there?
I could tell right when your thought derailed.
Yeah, that's right. Sit around the campfire and tell a spooky story about pirate ghosts that haunt a small town.
Yeah, and then get murdered by fog.
That's right. So for the Get Ranked Movie Podcast, I am Lou Costello.
And I'm Bud Abbott.
There you go. I was wondering if he'd pull it fast enough. For the Get Ranked Movie Podcast, I am Nick.
And I'm Cody.
We'll see you next time.
Get Ranked, a movie podcast, episode 79. Family-friendly fall flicks.